Okay, now let's do a new program. The problem is to compute the volume of cube, cone and a cylinder using overloaded functions. Okay, so what does overloading mean? When you have two functions with the same name but different arguments, either the data types, the types of the arguments has to be different. Say for example, if you have two functions with the same name, those two functions should have different either number of arguments or different types of arguments. Okay, let's see how this works out. We know that the formula for calculating the volume of cube, cone and cylinder are different. Okay, so let's figure out what is the volume formula for the volume of cube. Now that is equal to if A is the side length, then the volume is A cube. Now similarly, volume of cone, okay, volume of cone is pi r square h, pi into r, which is pi r square into h. Now the whole thing is actually the formula for the volume of a cylinder. Okay, so for the cone it will be a third of that, so divide by 3. Similarly, volume of cylinder will be what? Same thing as above, but without the division by 3. H is the height. Okay, so now we have the formulas. Now let's include iostream.h hash include conio.h, and now we need to have a class volume calculator. Okay, volume calculator, and no data members, but there are public member functions. So the first one is, it will return an int volume, right? It's supposed to calculate the volume, so volume int a. Now a is what? A is the side length. Okay, and in a cube all the sides are equal, right? So semicolon and a semicolon. Okay, so that is the volume of a cube. Now volume of a cone, actually, you know what we can do is we can just say return and say like this. Okay, so makes it straightforward and simple. Similarly, for the cone, let's say double, right? Double volume, and it will require what? If you look at the formula at the top, you require the radius of the base and the height. Okay, so let's, since it is going to return double, so r also will take it as double radius and double height. Okay, and I can directly say return within brackets pi. So let's take it as an approximation of 3.14 into r square, right? So radius into height, H-E-I-G-H-T, height, whole thing divided by 3. So this whole thing in turn should be within brackets, okay, and a semicolon. Now the next one is volume. Again, now double is the radius and int is the height. Int height is int. Okay, now this is for the, okay, now how do I know if I want to put comments? I will put it like this: volume of cube. Similarly, comment volume of, this is cone, okay, and comment volume of cylinder, okay. So what is the formula for this? It's basically pi r square h. So return, again bracket, 3.14 into radius and then what, into height, okay, and this whole thing will be in another bracket. Okay, now we don't, since we are not dividing it by 3, this we can close off the bracket here itself and semicolon. This is what is meant by overloading a function. See here, all the functions have the same name. Now what is different is that here you have a single attribute. Here for these two you have two arguments, but in both the cases the type is different of at least one argument. So here it is double, here it is int. So now when I call volume, what will happen? I am going to pass either a single argument. If I pass a single argument, then the first one will get executed. If I pass two doubles, this will get executed. If I pass a double and an int, this will get executed. Okay, so that completes my class specification. So void main, and here first clear screen, then I need to instantiate the above class, right? So what do I do? VC, okay, volume calculator VC, okay, volume calculator VC, and now I say cout volume of the cube is CV, right, and what, volume, I am calling the volume function of CV, and let's say I am passing it 4. So what should happen? 4 into 4 into 4, 64 should be displayed. Okay, now after this I need to go to the next line. Okay, cout volume of the cone, CV dot volume 2.0, 3.0. Now this is what I am passing two doubles, right? So when I pass two doubles, the second function should get executed. So this one will get executed. Okay, then end line, cout volume of the cylinder, CV dot volume, and I have to pass it what? I have to pass it the radius and the height, but here radius will be double and height will be int. Okay, so let's say 5.0 comma, now the second has to be int, so 4, let's say, and end line. Okay, and then finally I want it to weight, so get ch. Let's run this and see what happens. Undefined symbol CV. Oh, it should be VC. Okay, I don't know why. VC. Now let's run it. Yes. So in the first case, what is it? Okay, since okay, now what we'll do is we will accept these values. Basically, what do we require? We require, okay, so cout, enter the side length, right? Side length. So Cin, okay, and let's call it as length. Okay, we will we'll declare it separately. Okay, so now what happens is here instead of saying 4, I can say length. Cout, enter the radius. Enter the radius of the base of the cylinder or cone. So radius, no, not radius, this should go into the next line. Cin, enter the radius of the base, Cin radius, and cout, again enter the height of the solid. This can be either cylinder or cone. Cin, height, height. Okay, so now I just have to say this is radius and height, height. And here what I'll do, since I'm supposed to pass height as a int, right? For cylinder, I'm supposed to pass it as a int, so I'll say int of height. Okay, so this has to be double. Okay, and I have to declare these variables. So length is going to be int length, and double would be radius and height. So now let's run this. Okay, enter the side length, let's say 4, so volume of the cube is 64. Enter the radius of the base 3.0, enter the height of the solid 2.0, so volume of the cone is 18.84, volume of the cylinder is 56.52. Okay, now how do I know that it has actually taken it as integer? So let's do one thing. In this in the implementation of this, what we'll do is I need to display cout. I'll display radius and height. Okay, I'll display these two. Okay, and return. and this will go here. Okay, same thing I'll do here also. Okay, and here I'll say Cout radius height, height, and let's take it to the next line. Now let's run this. Okay, length is let's say 4, so 64, radius is 2.0, height of the solid is 3.0, so 2 and 3 it is taking. Volume of the cone is 12.56, volume of the cylinder is 37.68. Again, I'm still not able to make out. Here it is displaying radius and height, so even though it is double, it is not displaying it in decimals. Cout height in integer form is int height. So, and here I should say end line. Okay, so here end line. Okay, I'll okay, now let's see. 327, radius 2.5, height of the solid is 3.5, 2.5, 3.5, great, 2.5, 3. Okay, great. So now, do you realize the significance of what is called as overloading or function overloading? The biggest advantage is since I want to use the same name for a function. Say for example, here I am using the word volume for all the 3 different solids, right? For a cube, for a cone, and and it makes perfect sense because I am interested in volume. There is no point in me giving different names for these 3 different solids. Volume of cube, volume of cone, volume of cylinder, because unnecessarily I end up creating n number of functions, whereas with different names, and I have to remember all these different names. But here what happens, I can have the same name, but depending on the arguments that is passed, the type of arguments that are passed, automatically that appropriate function is executed. That's the biggest advantage of function overloading. Okay, so let's save this and let's name it. Let's first go to source. Let's name it as func over. Okay, close, quit.